The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chair Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott Lewis. It is Friday, April 4th, 2025, and we have got a great show on deck for y'all today, man. Of course, as we always start, follow me on all social media platforms at Barber Chair Scott. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. And, of course, follow our partners, H&B Media, at H&B Media TV, and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. Of course, while you're at it, man, subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network, man. As you can see right here on the screen, we have got four different tiers that you can subscribe to. We've got the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, and the $10 Holla All Access Barber's Chair tier. If you subscribe to the Barber's Chair I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, now you get the new episode that we have, the new midweek Wednesday episode of the show, man, and you can get 25% off on your order at the Barber's Chair Network shop. That is bcnetshop.com. That is 25% off for now. Anybody who is a subscriber of that for their first order, man. So get in tune with that. So definitely got a packed show for y'all. Looking forward to getting into everything. Courtney will join us later on in the local hour, man. But now I'm going to bring in my co-host for the first part of the show, really with the whole show. But we got J.R. Bang is in the house, and we've also got Dante is in the house. Dante is in the house live from Truist Park, as our baseball coverage is about to get official, ladies and gentlemen. So, Dante, how you feeling?
I'm solid, bro. It's a great day out here. You know, it's a little hot out here, so the ball should fly. The Braves definitely need that the way they've been hitting the ball, but everything good right now, bro. How y'all feeling?
Doing pretty good, man. I know you said you got to switch between people in that press box yet. Do we need to come back to you?
Yeah, I'm about to just slide to the other side.
Okay, cool. We're going to let you do that real quick. JR Bang, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good. I'm just laughing at via satellite Dante right now. Like, that's how you know we're doing it. Like, yo, my man said live at Truist Park.
Live at Truist Park. We do have one team that we'll be covering this year. We tried to, let's just say, other teams weren't as friendly to us here at the network, but that's all good. Shout out to the Atlanta Braves for letting us in the building. So Dante will be covering the Atlanta Braves in their campaign. Maybe they can actually get a win today because they are winless. But he'll be covering the Braves for us, and he has a new podcast that we're going to talk about as soon as he finds a new place in the press box to record. But Bang, man, You feeling good? Everything doing good. You have a hat on. I don't know if you saw my comment on some dude the other day. I was like, I ain't seen you with a hat in like a decade, nigga.
Yeah, you're right, and it's funny because my wife. This is the reason why my wife bought it. Cause she like, yo, you haven't been wearing hats since you had the hookup at the New Era store on Michigan Ave. I used to get hats in that joint for free, given to me. Like, yo,
I
here's a
remember
hat.
the New
So
Era
yeah.
hat. That's what we met Sway at. Remember they had that big Chicago
Yeah, when
thing.
Sway
Like,
gave me the worst advice ever.
what was the advice he gave you?
I mean, he was just like, yo, hey man, just keep doing what you're doing. I
Just
see
keep doing
everybody
your
up there
thing.
know you. Just keep doing your thing. I'm like, the fuck? I'm trying.
That's
You
what
know what? Don't even
successful
worry about it.
niggas tell you.
Yeah, I'm like, don't even worry about it.
I can't wait till I'm successful enough to go do a TED Talk and do the TED Talk mic thing and just say shit like we all got the same 24 hours. That's what I'm very excited to do, man. But I'm excited to actually have somewhat of a weekend to relax. Last week was a very, very busy weekend. It was a good weekend though, man. We celebrated my grandmother's 87th birthday, so had a family moment. I always say this, man. As you get older, you definitely appreciate being around your family more. But
I speak for yourself.
right, there was a moment or two where I almost had a bang moment. But
okay, there we go.
Overall, it was a good time, and hey man, worked out because it was raining super hard. We were in Homewood. It was raining super hard to the point at the event center we was at had to close down because the power went out. And so we getting ready to pack this up. We thinking we're gonna have to move this to a family house. And my mom was really disappointed because she was one putting everything together. But light came on right at the last minute, so everything was able to work out for them. That's the difference between city service and suburb service, man. If it was in the city, it probably would have been on a lot quicker, man. But we got Dante. You said Folks Peter Gammon reporting via satellite. We got Dante. He'll be taking care of our Atlanta Braves coverage. He's live at Truist Park right now. Dante, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro. Like I said, it's hot today, so they should hit the ball. They've been struggling right now. One of the three players they got hitting over 200 just got suspended for 80 games. So, there's that. But, I mean, overall, I think it's straight, bro. I think it's going to be a good game today.
Do you like their chances of getting their first dub today? Because they are still winless, if I'm correct.
I do. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Marlins do play them tough usually, but I think that they got a good chance of getting their first dub today.
All right, definitely tune in. You got a new podcast, Something About the Pod.
Oh, yes, man. Every Friday, the High and Outside podcast. We got me. We got Courtney. We got my homie Malik Wright. We also got my homie Sid. And we got my boy JR Bang. We got a little segment we created for him. We're going to get everybody involved. We're trying to really just grow the game this season. We got, like I said, we weren't able to get as much coverage as we want, but we do have a coverage down here in Atlanta. And every week we're going to have a show where we go over everything that's popping in baseball, So I'm excited for it. Shout out to my boy Micah, because, this is still like the baby of the hot corner, which, he can no longer host. So, we're going to do it big for my boys. So make sure y'all check in with us this year.
Definitely check in with that, man. We're going to get a lot of dope coverage on the baseball front, which I always felt like that was something that we need more of, man. Not just with this show in general, but Black media in general to be doing that. So shout out to the Atlanta Braves for having us on there, man. But I was telling Bang, man, before before we was coming on, man, I have found my new sport obsession. That is soccer, or it's football, as they call it. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I've been watching a lot of it, my nigga, a lot. Even though my man Damien was trying to clown me. He said I was looking like Doug on King of Queens when he was like learning new shit with the glasses and everything like that, which was very funny. But anyway, that shit has been cool to watch, man. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of that this weekend. Let's start off, man. We're gonna start off with the warm-up, man. We gotta first say send our respects to the one and only Val Kilmer, man. Val Kilmer passed away a couple days ago. He was I think he was 66. Was the age, man. Bang, I know you big on movies and things like that. Was there any Val Kilmer movies that you liked from back in the day?
Man, it's Top Gun. Like, he was the ultimate asshole in Top Gun. Like, I I had to watch it again after watching the what I guess you could call it part 2, because you know they had that heartwarming moment. And what's crazy is, and I feel bad what I'm about to say, I thought he was dead already because of the new
Okay.
Top Gun. No, hear me out. The way that they did in Top Gun, it was the way that he like played that part in Top Gun. It was almost like a goodbye when they did it. So when I woke up and I saw that he had passed, I was like, damn, didn't he die already? But again, it was only because the way I felt like they paid tribute to him in Top Gun. And I knew he was sick. So man, that's the movie for me. It's Top Gun. I know he had a couple of others. You know, he along with like Tom Cruise and a couple of people, they ran the 80s, and then you know he was Batman and all of that stuff. But Top Gun is it for me.
My favorite, I mean, everybody, I think like I saw a lot of people posting the stuff from Batman Forever, and I understand why people from my age have fond memories of that movie, but let's be very, very clear about something. That movie was not good. But it wasn't because of him. He was not the reason it was a bad movie. I think he was a great Bruce Wayne. Don't know if it was the best Batman, but my favorite is he was in Heat. Heat is one of my favorite movies. Obviously, I love Robert De Niro, love Al Pacino. His role in Heat was one of my favorites. Definitely can't forget about Top Gun, like you just said. I understand what you were talking about, thinking that he was dead because of the kind of like the send-off they gave to him. And, you know, he wasn't speaking the best as well. You know, he was dealing with that disease. But I do feel like it was a great look for him to actually be on the screen, you know, one more time. And it was Top Gun was like 2 years ago, right? I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it
was
came out.
like 2-3 years ago.
Which means they shot it 3 years ago.
Also Tombstone 2. I'm Your Huckleberry. Like that also was, I mean, Top Gun might be like, Tombstone might be his most famous role. But I'm not a Western guy. Like
Right.
literally the only Western that I would sit and watch is Unforgiven. Tombstone is cool, but I watched it once and I ain't got to watch it again. But when he played John Morrison in The Doors too, and Willow, yes, Willow, and the original Willow, even though that TV show I actually fucked with too. So he definitely had a lot of roles. He owned the 80s and 90s, and part of he had throat cancer. And the throat cancer, when they did the surgery, messed up his vocal cords. So he really didn't want to be in front of a screen talking to anybody because he don't sound the same. So that was also why that was a big moment too for him. But it was almost again like it was a swan song. They said this man was like in the bed for years. Like he was just in the bed. Like that's wild that he was in the and yes, it's Jim Morrison. I'm thinking about the wrestler John Morrison. Listen, when I hear the Morrison, make sure you listen to First Black Champ on Barbershop Network.
That's the First Black Champ. Dante, any favorite Val Kilmer roles?
I mean, a lot of people clown him for his Batman role, but that was a lot of people's introduction into Batman. So, you know, I always show love to that. But I agree, it's got to be Top Gun. And I'm a person who I went back and watched Top Gun after the sequel came out, and I was like, no, this is fire. So, now that he passed, I hate to do it, like treat him like a rapper, but I'm gonna go back and watch Heat and all the movies I haven't seen, you know, in years or haven't seen at all, and you know, really appreciate it. But no, Val is one of the best, I think. Val Kilmer, he's in that line of, you know, the American action stars. We got a new batch of them, but they don't hit the same as, you know, back when cinema was really cinema and these blockbusters were big movies, you feel me?
Yeah. Definitely, man. So definitely, okay. We had yeah, you good. Or we won't have to ban Orlando from the chat, man. Orlando be wild. He gonna get us kicked off YouTube. But RIP. Yeah, yes, Heat was awesome. I'm gonna actually rewatch Heat this weekend. My favorite moment of Heat actually has nothing to do with Val Kilmer. It's the scene where Al Pacino was like, "She's got a great ass, and you got your face all up in it." That's my favorite part of Heat. Of course, we always know the restaurant scene with him and Robert De Niro, man. But R.I.P. Val Kilmer, much respect and love to his family and friends, man. But let's talk about last night. What happened in the NBA? Very, very good game between the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, man. We had another LeBron and Steph altercation, not altercation, but rivalry game going on, man. I would say this is a clap. I feel like every time they play, it never disappoints. The Warriors ended up winning 123-16. Steph Curry had another massive game. He had 30. He had I'm looking at it right now. He had 37 points, 6 assists, and about 4 rebounds. So big game from him. LeBron also put in 33 points as well. Austin Reeves had 31. Luka had 19. My question for y'all really isn't even about this game. Is this, if you look at the standings, the NBA standings, by the way, seeds 2 through 7, like 2 through 10 in the Western Conference are wild. They're separated by like a game or two in all of them, man. But the playoffs start today. The Los Angeles Lakers will be hosting the Golden State Warriors. And I think if you're Adam Silver, you are Birdman hand rubbing at the possibility of having Steph and LeBron face off once again. Maybe one of the last times they face off again. And this time, both teams are pretty good. The Warriors have been on fire. When Jimmy Butler got there, they were dead in the water. They were fighting for the 10th seed with Sacramento and Phoenix at the time. And now they are number 5. They're only a game and a half behind Denver, who they play tonight for the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. They're 20-4 since they got Jimmy Butler. And we all know how dominant the Lakers have been since they got Luka 2 months ago. I think this would be a great series. I know Adam Silver is thirsty for this to happen. Bang, how much does the NBA need LeBron versus Steph round 1 right now? Do we still need to get away from this and be more excited about some of the younger players in the NBA right now?
Nah, we need this. I think I talked about this on some dude, and I'll bring it here too. The NBA is greatest when it's a changing of the guard moment. And I also believe that was missing in at the end of the Michael Jordan era. Kareem and them passed the mic to Magic and Larry Bird and Isaiah. Those 3 passed the mic to Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, and Karl Malone, and all of those guys. Nobody, it was a lockout thing, and Tim Duncan ended up winning his title. But Tim Duncan, Shaq, Kobe, and them all passed the mic over to LeBron. The thing that we miss about the LeBron and Kobe thing is we thought we was going to get them in the finals. We had Magic and Michael in the finals. That was a passing of the torch moment. We didn't realize that at the time due to what happened with Magic. So we need the final, which will more than likely be the final battle between those two. And if they just so happen to be 4-5, then you get them versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is crazy. And it just shows you how much they haven't really talked, that they don't talk about it. It was crazy to realize that this team is on the way to 70 wins. So we could talk all what we said about the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're the best team in the league, and they got this record over the past 2 years, but they ain't really done anything in the playoffs to make us go like, oh, man. So this would be a major moment for the Oklahoma City Thunder if they were to play the Lakers or the Golden State Warriors in the second round or in the Western Conference Finals. But LeBron, Steph is possibly final chapter. And especially if one of those two end up going to the NBA Finals and winning, to have LeBron or Steph on the road and defeating each other to get there would be a major moment, especially for Steph Curry. Because if Steph Curry defeats LeBron James, if they play them in the playoffs and they end up winning the championship, that could really move up Steph Curry up on the list of where he is when you talk about the greatest of all time. And when you talk about the careers that mirror each other and where they fit, if this was LeBron's time or if this was Steph's time.
I agree. I agree with that. I think it's something that will be definitely entertaining. Best way to kick it off, and then, like you said, in the second round, then you have to play the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that will be the perfect now versus the old. Can the OKC Thunder knock off the old guard, no matter if it is LeBron or Steph, and say, "Yo, I understand y'all little rivalry and things like that, but this is my league right now. I'm the MVP. We finna dust y'all off. Go to the Western Conference Finals, and then see if we got to face the defending champions in the NBA Finals." To me, that's the perfect way to start the playoffs. Dante, what's your feelings on last night's matchup? Every time LeBron and Steph end up playing, it's always like a classic game. And how much the NBA maybe needs them to face off in the first round.
Last night was another reminder of how we need to really appreciate these C dudes while we still got them. I know we spent so much time splitting hairs talking about who's the greatest, who's the best, who's, got the most rings and all of that. But like you said, every time those two play each other, you see why we want to see the best against the best, because they always give us a matchup, no matter what we are getting from those teams at the time. And the Lakers have been struggling. They did lose the game, but I mean, they put up a decent fight. There was still some moments where I'm like, all right, this is something to probably be concerned about. But I think if you're the NBA, anytime you can get LeBron and Steph in a series, that's a win for the league, because of not only the nostalgia factor of everything they've accomplished and everything that people, still cling to and argue about. The fact that these are two of the premier players in your game, and that they are a testament to the longevity, which is something that the older generation didn't really have. They didn't have a lot of guys going 16, 18, 20 years and still being dominant and extremely effective. Usually this was around the time those guys were transitioning into role players. Instead, these guys are still stars. So if you're the league, you definitely want that. You know that you're going to move the needle every time they come on the TV screen. It's automatic, even though it's a West Coast game. I'm over here on the East Coast. I stayed up for that whole game yesterday because, that type of matchup matters. So I think if you're the league, you definitely want to see that. And for us as the fans, it's just another reminder that we really need to enjoy this while we still got it, because once they leave, there's going to be a period where we have to figure out who those guys are that we want to see, that are must see, because we haven't spent the time to actually, highlight our next generation of stars. So, I mean, while we still got these two, we got to appreciate it.
Definitely. That was the first thing that came to my mind yesterday, was appreciating both of these guys. And it was just, it was just really good to see. Like, it literally never disappoints. That last stretch at the end where they were going 3 for 3 for 3, and Kevin Harlan sounded like he was going to lose his voice. Draymond, amazing defensive possession on LeBron James to close the game. Jimmy Butler with a game-winning steal. I don't think we have Jimmy Butler. I mean, we're the good part of the Jimmy Butler circle. We all know how the Jimmy Butler circle goes, because it's been like this since he left the Bulls. Plays well, you realize how great of a player he is. Start realizing, there's some issues with Jimmy. Here's a diva. Boom, I want to get paid more money. We don't want to pay you no more money. I want out. It's the full circle. Now, it might change because he's later in his career right now. I think he's like in his 14th season in the league. Maybe that's different, but he has been 100% a changing factor for the Golden State Warriors, and a reason why I think they might have one last run in them, man. So I'm really interested in seeing that, man. Let's talk about another game that happened last night. As we get through last night's rundown or not highlights, but like things to talk about. Mr. Ja Morant. Does this nigga learn? Like that's the question I've got about Demetrius Morant. First of all, I don't, from a playing perspective, outside these last two games, Ja Morant does not look like Ja Morant, in my personal opinion, this year. I've even said on this show, the Grizzlies are led by Jaren Jackson Jr. now, and I don't know who kidnapped Ja, but they need to give him back. We already know about all the turmoil that's been happening with the Grizzlies. Taylor Jenkins got fired. So the other night, I think it was against the Lakers. I don't remember who they're playing, but he did a gun gesture to the bench, and the NBA was all up in arms about it, but they decided to give him a pass for this one. And he even went saying, "Oh, Ja this, Ja that." That's what he tweeted, basically saying they're only talking about it because I'm Ja Morant. Then yesterday, after a game winner, by the way, 30 points, game winner over the Miami Heat, breaking the Miami Heat's 6-game win streak, he does the gun gesture once again. And then this afternoon, Adam Silver, NBA announced that he was being fined $75,000. So that's a very expensive celebration here by Mr. Ja. My thing is this when it comes to Ja Morant, man. I understand why he feels that this is something that's, they're only picking on him, but there's a reason why they're picking on him. Nobody else who does gun gestures or stuff like that has been seen with guns, who got suspended for that, who had to go to rehab, did a whole little Sports Center outside the line special talking about what he learned. There's a reason for this, and you're habitually crossing the line. And that's the issue here. And on top of that, the whole slide that the Memphis Grizzlies have made over this season, especially since Taylor Jenkins has been fired, this doesn't help your case. Now, winning and playing well will shut people up. But Ja, I believe, has to be more aware of what he's doing. The gun signal, do I take it seriously? No. Does anybody who's rational should take it seriously? No, I don't think it's a big thing. In fact, I really think it's kind of hypocritical of the NBA to have players like Miles Bridges and other guys like that who were obvious domestic abusers not getting the spotlight that Ja is with a gun gesture, but there's still a reason for it. So I believe Ja needs to just learn that and just keep it pushing. But it kind of feels like he is your little cousin who keeps getting in trouble despite all the talent that he has. And that's something here that I feel like might hold him back in the long term when it comes to it. Bang, what's your thoughts on what you saw from Ja Morant last night?
I think it was stupid. And what made it even more stupid is that hours before the game, the NBA told him not to do it, and he did it anyway. That's the issue. Look, Jay Williams said something on the show today, on First Take today. Get Up. And he said that just ban it. Just ban gun salutes. We see what the NFL just did with banning the nose joint, the slime joint, right? Just ban it. Keep him away from doing that, and just keep it away from the league. If you want, you can't say you want just Ja to stop doing that. Like, that's where, if Ja came out and said that, I would agree with him wholeheartedly. You even if what happened to me happened to me, if it's legal to do, I should be able to do it. You can't use what I got arrested for and all of that stuff and just keep it to me and say, don't do it. Flip side of it, they told you not to do it, fam. So just don't. And you know what you've been through. So it's just sheer stupidity on his part. He's dumb. There's no point of doing it. It's not even, and honestly, it's not even a cool celebration. Like, it's not one of the cool gun celebrations either. So I just think it's dumb. It's stupid. If the league don't want him to do it, just ban it all together. And then let everybody get mad at him because they can't do this after they shoot a three-pointer and stuff like that.
Dante, what's your thoughts on this, on Ja repeatedly not caring about what the NBA is telling them?
Yeah, bro, it's childish. And when you're somebody who, they're trying to position you as one of the faces of the league, the last thing you can do is sit here and act like a child, bro. Like, it's like you said, they give you these little slap on the wrist, go to fake therapy for a couple months and come back. So, they're trying to stall you out, but you continue to try to push the issue. They give you an inch, you take a mile. Your pop's drunk on the sidelines. I don't know what y'all want me to do no more. Like, at this point, like, sometimes I think people overreact. You feel me? Like, but at the same time, when they come to you directly and say, hey, bro, just don't do this, and that's what the league did. He did it anyway, so it's one of those things you can't really have sympathy for him no more. You would think that he would change his behavior, but right now, he's not. They fired the head coach. So I think it's a thing where the checks and balances aren't really there in Memphis. We don't know if they're going to move on from him after this season. That's one of the signs. Because, you have people who are still talking about. I think it was Mike Wilbon, because of course they're talking about are the Bulls going to try to get a guy. And they were talking about Ja and Zion and the potential that both of them may be done in their respective cities. So for a guy like Ja, it's unfortunate he don't really care, but at the same time, this is kind of the culture we've cultivated with the way that we treat our stars. So he gonna keep doing it until like something of serious consequence happens. But if nothing happens, and it's just a salute, it's just a little gesture, then it won't matter. So I'm with Bang. If it's that big of a deal to the league, then ban it. But in his defense, I will say this: Buddy Hield did it, and he did it back to Buddy. So they kind of were just clowning around.
Had a back-to-back thing going.
Yeah, it was just petty. But that's the whole point. It's petty. It's like, bro, if they ask you not to do it, they want to position you as one of the new faces. Just don't do it.
Definitely, man. We're going to see how that ends up, man. But let's get into it. The local hour.
It is the local hour. Local hour.
All right. Brought to you by the Sock Man on 87th. But we've actually got Bear stuff to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like it's been a minute since we had actual Bears content to go over. This week was the league meetings, so all the owners, all the GMs, all the coaches were all in bumfuck Florida. I don't know exactly where it was in Florida, and they were all out there. I don't know. Did y'all see Mike Tomlin looking like he's finna pass out? Like, and they thought, yo, is this nigga sick or something?
My man looked like he took some bad shit and was just trying to fight through it.
Yeah, like that's how bad he looked, man. But a lot of stuff to get into from the league meetings. But let's start off with the first news that hit not late last night, but around yesterday evening. That is the Bears agreeing to a 1-year, $3 million deal with Case Keenum. Case Keenum, of course, veteran quarterback. A lot of people remember him for that Hail Mary play in Minnesota about how many years ago was that? That was like about 6-7 years ago at this point. The Minnesota Miracle over the New Orleans Saints. He was the backup last year in Houston for CJ Stroud. Now, for the last couple of days, Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles been talking about getting a veteran to help Caleb out to establish that quarterback room and really give him some guidance. Now, I thought when I saw this that meant that Tyson Bagent was going to be working for Uber Eats. But apparently, according to Courtney Cronin and according to Patrick Finley, that seems like Case Keenum is going to be QB number 3. And Ryan Poles even alluded on Adam Hogan, friend of the program, Adam John's, Hogan John's podcast last night, that he still has a lot of faith in Tyson Bagent. Instead of you're rooting against him, well, not rooting against him, but like thinking he's going to fail, he was surprised you. I don't think he's going to surprise me, but that's what he said. So I'm a little shocked at that. Now, things can change. Things are fluid. Who knows what's going to happen come training camps. I also remember when they signed P.J. Walker a couple years ago to back up Justin Fields, and they thought he was going to be the backup, and that's where the Tyson Bagent thing came, and they cut P.J. Walker. So who knows? But overall, I like this move. I think it's a solid vet. He would be not my number 2 for sure. I'm not a big Tyson Bagent guy on the field. Obviously, Tyson's a cool dude. Anytime you run into a locker room, he's always down for an interview. No problems with Tyson in that front. But I do feel like he's limited in what he can do. And I think Case Keenum, even at this point of his career, is a better passer of the football than a Tyson Bagent. But if anything, this helps Caleb out because now you've got a vet who's been in the NFL a long time. Not somebody like who Bagent supposed to be the vet last year. That was only the second year. A guy who's been in the playoffs, who's been on winning teams, who's won a division. He knows what it takes, and he's going to help him out in that way. And so he even, has done this in multiple ways before. So I'm really, really happy about this signing, and I'm really interested to see what this is going to be like when camp rolls around, if he indeed will be the number 2 or the number 3, because then there's a question, are they going to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster? So, but, training camp is what? 3 months from now, 3.5 months from now, we still got a long road to that. But Ben, what's your overall thoughts on Case Keenum being the new one of you backup quarterbacks for the Bears?
I like it. I don't think he's going to come in as QB number 3. But training camp is going to determine that he's going to be QB number 2. If I had to trust somebody between Case Keenum and Tyson Bagent, it's going to be Case Keenum to hold down the fort until something comes, like until Caleb comes back, if it's some stuff when it comes to injury. But I do like the move. Case Keenum has been in the league for years. He's been a starter. He's been an effective starter with the Minnesota Vikings. So I do like this move, and I don't think he's going to end when preseason ends and when we get into the regular season. It would not shock me if he's QB number 2.
Dante, what's your thoughts on this? You muted, boss. You lucky I'm not by the fine button. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, my bad. No, I like it. I think it's it kind of alludes to what people were saying about Caleb needing to be more of a professional. Not that he was unprofessional, but that there was just more things that he needed to do to, in terms of his preparation for the game. And that's what a Case Keenum type of guy is. That would be like them when they had Chase Daniels. That's an old guy who's used to carrying a clipboard and preparing the right way. A lot of time we clown those guys, but the reality is they do more preparing than actual playing. So if that's somebody you want your guy to learn from, that's fine. I don't expect Case Keenum to get out there and play. I'm with you. I think Ben Johnson can do enough with Bagent to where if he had to have him start for a couple games, it wouldn't be a big issue. But Case Keenum, no, I think it's a solid move for a young quarterback you're trying to teach, the proper preparation it takes to be successful in the league. So I'm cool with it.
Definitely, man. Other news coming out of the league meetings was, where the Bears going to go at pick 10. We're about 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. There's a lot of different ways they can go. We've been hearing a lot about the Will Campbell thing. Obviously, been hearing about will Ashton Genty actually get past the Vegas Raiders, which every day seems like it won't. The more and more it kind of feels like he won't. Who are the Bears going to draft at pick number 10? Now, there's been a lot of smoke this week that pick number 10 could be Penn State's own Tyler Warren. He is a tight end, had a great season last couple seasons in Penn State for them, and has been really dominant tight end. And we even had Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson named him specifically in multiple interviews this week. Ryan Poles said they were in a meeting, him, Ben Johnson, Declan, the whole staff. And he said what stood out to him was not anything that Ben Johnson said about Tyler Warren, but what defensive coordinator Dennis Allen said that, he would be held to guard to, scheme for every week. And that's what kind of got them thinking about that. Ben Johnson was complimenting him a lot. It really feels like Tyler Warren might actually be an option. My personal opinion is this. I think a lot of Bears fans will freak out if a tight end is drafted at number 10 because of, other needs, running back and also the trenches, especially since you've already got your tight end paid for the next couple of years, and that is Cole Kmet. I've been saying since the free agency, man, to me, this is all about best player available. I'm not really going to trip on who they draft, and I'm full in trust Ben Johnson mode. That's where I'm at. If Ben Johnson feels like this is a tight end we need, go ahead and get it. That's where I'm all for. I think it will be something like that if in his offense will work. I'm down with it. And I've been saying for weeks now, my hot take is that Cole Kmet will not be on the opening week roster. Now, that is extremely hot take. They haven't given any signals about him going anywhere. I personally haven't heard anything about it. He just doesn't look like a Ben Johnson scheme type guy to me. And that's what I feel about that. So if they drafted a Tyler Warren, now maybe they could do a 2 tight end setup. They don't got Gerald Everett anymore, so maybe they roll with Tyler Warren and Cole Kmet. But to me, if you're going to draft somebody number 10, you don't want him splitting, targets with Cole Kmet. So that was really interesting to me. Maybe this is just smoke. But I think we're really starting to see more and more what kind of players Ben Johnson values here, man. So it'll be an interesting pick to me, but I wouldn't be mad at it. Van, what's your thoughts on Tyler Warren? What do you think about him as a player? And would you be mad if the Bears took him at pick number 10?
Yes, I would be mad if the Bears took him at 10. This is a deep – no, mainly because this is a deep tight end draft. Like, you could get a tight end in the second round with one of those 2 picks. You get an immediate need right there. And you could go and get Jason Taylor's son, Mason Taylor. He's a highly rated prospect. I don't think he's going to make it past the mid-second round, and we have one of the first picks in the first round. So, yeah, I would be highly upset if the Bears took a tight end at that pick, mainly because the position is deep. Tight end and deep, it is very pause-worthy right there, ladies and gentlemen. But, like, if somebody like a Will Campbell, like, drops and stuff, I would go after him and solidify that defensive line, or go after an edge, or if Gentry drops, go grab him. But not a tight end at 10 when this is a deep tight end class. No, I'm straight.
Dante, what's your thoughts on Tyler Warren and his potential fit with the Bears?
I love it. If he's a game changer, like y'all say he is, bring him on. Like the same energy for y'all have for Gentry, who I didn't want. So my whole thing is, if he can actually fit into this offense and lead into more explosive plays, take some of that pressure off of Cole Kmet if you do keep Cole Kmet, I'm all for it. I think at this point, I'm done trying to guess what they're going to do. I love what they did building the trenches. I'm with you. I will say if Will Campbell is there, I would take Will Campbell. But if they went and got an offensive guy, I wouldn't mind it at all. I think Ben Johnson really has, a formula for success. He knows what he wants to do, and I appreciate the fact that he said, we got to remember he's building his own variation of what he did in Detroit. He said it will not be the same offense you saw in Detroit. So that, tends me to believe that, he may not go after a running back. Everybody's locked in on a running back at 10. But no, he could go tight end and, see him as a difference maker, which I think Tyler Warren is. So I would love that pick. I'm all for it, bro. I think we need to start trying to score as many points as possible.
That, man, so we gonna see. I think right now, like, I'm kind of with the Bears getting a Bears fan getting pissed about a pick. I feel like we getting too comfortable. Let's reestablish some anger in Bears Twitter right now. But like I said, I'm all full trust Ben Johnson more right now. More and more I hear Ben talk, the more I agree with Ben. He might have some sicko in him. Like that's starting to feel like he might have. And when Bang says John Gruden, he means strictly from the football side, not the actual John Gruden, man. But other news there this week is George McCaskey. George McCaskey speaking for the first time since his mother, the Bears owner, Virginia McCaskeys, passed away. And, he had a very emotional media session where he talked about, the new era and, they've done the right things in free agency and hiring the right coach. And now it's about actually doing things and winning games and trying to win championships. Saying it's about time. We've done the work. We're doing the work with the draft coming up. Now we actually have to, go out there and back up all the moves we made. But it also went to is the team going to be sold? Man, there was a question about that. Now that Virginia McCaskey has passed away, would the McCaskey family think about cashing in and selling the team? He emotionally said that that's not going to happen, that Virginia put together a succession plan before she passed, and that they plan for this team to be in the family for the next 100 years was the case. Now, my personal opinion on this, I'm not as hell-bent on them selling the team as I was years before. I'm not at them where I am with both Reinsdorf-owned teams, where the White Sox, it's going to be a new owner. It's just waiting for Jerry to redact it. Then Ishbia will take full control of the White Sox. And maybe things will be different. Maybe he won't. I don't know. You can really never tell with ownerships. You got to pay attention to it. The Bulls, I want Reinsdorf to sell them so bad. But I know even when he redacted, Michael Reinsdorf's not trading that team. It's just not going to happen. And I think, even though I think they would do crazy numbers on the open market, with the Bears, it's a little different. I don't ever think the Bears were ever a cheap franchise. They just spend their money on the wrong things. Now, it looks, keyword looks, like they finally done it right this time. Like I said many times, I'm not going to be giving them any flowers or praise until I see it on the field. I'm not going to be doing the song and dance that I was doing last year. I'm just not going to do it. Honestly, I'm not going to be confident about this team until we get to December and we're still in it. That, to me, is when I'll be excited about it. But I understand where he's coming from. I don't think that this is ever going to be something that was legitimately actually considered. This feels like a family thing. As a member of the Bears media, I get the the preseason booklet. It's 100 McCaskeys now. I've always said, everybody has a number. No matter how high or how low, everybody has a number. Now, Jeff Bezos or one of them niggas come around and say they got certain money they want to give out, maybe things change. I don't know. But I did think it was interesting that he made that announcement and that there is a succession plan in general. Ben, what you think about George McCaskeys' comments and, about the overall keeping the team?
He's supposed to say that. Like he's doing what every matriarch or patriarch of a family does. You look at it, he one of the head niggas in the family now. Like, for anybody that's ever been in a situation where a family member dies, like a mother, father dies, and you're the oldest or the most responsible and stuff like that, or folks just getting older and they need you to do more of the work. He's saying all of the right things. He's also saying all of the right things because if you want to go get this franchise, it's going to take a lot to come get this franchise from us. And as we had talked about when the Boston Celtics got sold, they got sold for $6.1 million. When you add the fact that the Bears is pushing along with this stadium, whether it's in Arlington, where more than likely is going to be, or wherever that joint is going to be, that's going to add extra B's on that joint too. This could possibly be a $10 billion sale. If the Bears is on the market, the Bears would be the biggest or the highest sale of all time in a franchise, when everything that's coming with it, and it's a charter franchise, and it's the NFL. So basically, all I heard is Michael McCaskey saying, all I heard is him saying, hey, we keep this joint for 100 years. I want to keep it in the family for 100 years. But you drop them double digits in that bill, I think we can have a conversation.
So basically, you think he said send me an offer is what you're taking from that?
I ain't saying he said send me an offer. He's saying if I get an offer, it better be that.
Gotcha.
It better be that.
Dante, what you think about what you heard from George McCaskey about the selling of the team?
It all sounds good. You're supposed to say that right after somebody passes away. That's just, like you said, a little dog whistle to the highest bidder. You better come correct if you do decide to buy this team. I think the way private equity is, racing to sports, and the way they're just opening the floodgates. Essentially, they try to say they're going to limit things, but usually when money starts flowing and people start talking, you're going to see a lot more private equity money in the sports spaces. So I think if the right billionaire comes to him and says, hey, we got, $8 billion, we got $9 billion, I think the Bears will sell for at least $7 billion. That's my thing, even with the current valuations. You see the Minnesota Timberwolves, no, it's a different sport. They just sold for $3 billion, and they said that was a steal. No sports team will ever go for that low again. So I think if you were to, even proposition somebody to purchase the Bears, that number's going to start at a 6 or a 7. So I think right now he's saying all the things he needs to say. It sounds good. I know it's 100 of them, but if somebody come with the right check and it's enough to, put that whole family up for the rest of their lives, money talks, bro, at the end of the day. So I wouldn't be shocked if they did eventually sell.
Definitely, man. Speaking of the next move with the Chicago Bears, that is, what exactly are they going to do with the new stadium? As I have said on this show, on this network, and this is a report of mine, and I'm going to keep doubling down on my report, the move to Arlington is going to be announced soon. I was hearing post-draft, maybe May, but everything I've been seeing, it just kind of feels like it's confirming that more and more that's going to happen. So Kevin Warren, TED Talk Kevin, I like to call him, he did a couple interviews this week, and basically he was just bigging up Arlington the whole time and saying that, we love the lakefront. We love everything they got over there. It'll definitely be something we love to do, but look at all the different ways of things we can do over there in Arlington. We can build kind of like a Bears town and do this and do that. So everybody has places to stay when they come in for all of these different events that we will host here. It really feels like this is pretty much, something that's already done, that we're just waiting for the final announcement. And he kept bigging up the new mayor of Arlington Heights. They just had a election this past week, and they do have a new mayor. He kept bigging that up and saying, oh, they're going to be influential. They're going to be influential. They're going to be influential. It finally feels like the wheels are finally in motion for the Bears' new stadium, something that we've been talking about at this point for 2.5 years. since Kevin Warren has come over and taken over as the president of this team. Actually, even longer than that, because Ted Phillips was a part of the group that actually bought the land. And I'm glad we're actually getting this because I'm tired of, the whole they need to stay in Chicago. By the way, I was like that at first too. I was one of the people who said this team needs to stay in the city. It doesn't really matter. Arlington Heights ain't that far away from Soldier Field. And I hear everybody saying prices is going to be risen and stuff like that. If you can't afford a game in Soldier Field right now, ain't like you're going to be able to afford a game over there anyway. So that's something that I feel like doesn't really matter at this point. And if you look at all these other stadiums and the NFL, very few of them are actually in the city. The Jets and the Giants play in New Jersey. As somebody who covered a Bears-Jets game a couple years ago, it took me an hour to get there from when I was in Queens. Took a long time. The Rams play in Inglewood. That's not Los Angeles, the actual city. Not that far, but it's not Los Angeles City. Dallas does not play in Dallas. Cowboys don't play in Dallas. The 49ers play almost 2 hours away from San Francisco. So it really feels like shovels are going to go into the ground this year, and we can finally get into the building of this. I said my hot take is the 2029 Super Bowl will be in Chicago. If that happens this year, 2030 Super Bowl will be in Chicago. If this happens this year, kind of feels like they'd be on track to do that. Bang. Anything that makes you feel like this is actually going to finally go down, or you still think it's still talk until it actually happens?
No, it's going to go down. They said they wanted this to happen by 2025. They're going to put that shovel in the ground in 2025. I think the only thing is they was just hoping that the lakefront will happen. But whatever, the Friends of the Lakefront, or what's the name of that damn group? They got way more power than I thought. Like, them folks, I don't know who the hell those folks are, but goddamn, this is basically them telling not only Brandon Johnson and the Bears, but Chicago, that don't shit move downtown by this water unless we got something to do with it. And the fact that is pretty much the reason why this is not happening. Like, it is not because of taxes and all of that. They would have found a way. It's Chicago. This is happening because a group is basically like, fam, we ain't having that shit. So we got to try to find, friends of the park. Like, we got to find Michael Reese, but that ain't good enough because it's bad parking over there. And not only is it bad parking, it's cramped over there. So you'll have to do a lot of stuff with friends of the park. Like, oh, well, y'all ain't doing this over here. This is wild. However, we going to Arlington Heights to watch this. My boss had asked me where would I want the stadium. I said, I don't give a damn. As long as this stadium is high quality, I'm straight. Like, that's all I'm looking for. That as long as that stadium is not like in Kendall County, I'm straight. But outside of that, nah. I just want a high quality stadium. I want Las Vegas. I want LA. Shit, I want that. And wherever it is, as long as it ain't in Kendall, I'm going.
Dante, they said you're looking like Shawty Low up there, but how you...
Yeah, that was hilarious. But no, Friends of the Park sounds like a cult. First of all, let me just say that sounds like a cult organization. But they're going to Arlington, bro. Let it go. It's a wrap. We tried. We sat here for a minute. The idea of keeping them on the lakefront was amazing. You feel me? Like, I even like the Michael Reese site, even though it was a little bit further south. I enjoyed it. I like the way it looked. I like the mock-up. I thought that was something that could have been done. But no, when you already own that much land and you have the potential. Once I saw Kevin Warren say, you can build a small city, that's what they're going to do. And I mean, it's funny I say that as I'm sitting in the Battery and I look at all the buildings. And the Braves just bought a new office space behind the stadium. So, like, this is what teams do now. If they can't control the area around the stadium, they don't want to be there. So, it makes sense from a revenue standpoint. I think right now as fans, we just have to hope that, one, they take that revenue and put it into the team. They don't do what the Ricketts have done. They just take it and we can put it in our pockets and, to hell with y'all. So I think Arlington is going to happen. It's just more so when, not if. And they just got to put everything together the way it needs to be properly done. And the mayor that just got elected in Arlington He likes Kevin Warren, so you know they're all smooth together, and we go from there. But no, it will be in Arlington. You can let that go. I think.
Definitely. Like I said, I just want a nice ballpark because I'm tired of going to all these different stadiums and everybody's stadium look better than the Bears. The only stadium I've been to that is worse is FedEx Field, and even they're about to get a new stadium, or maybe they're gonna build the what RFK is that or whatever. But that was the worst stadium I've ever been. They elevator shut down before the game ends, and we had to walk up a damn one of them ramps. When I met Taylor Rooks the first time, all the damn ramps and stuff like that. So that makes Soldier Field look like so far. So I'm just glad.
And just real quick, to show you a little comment. Just the FYI, this is not a Beijing. My hair is jet black. Like this is my hair color. I just wanted to be crystal clear. But yeah.
He said this is not the Carlos Boozer. His hair is real. Shout out my cousin Gary in the chat. Do you think Chicago can get the Super Bowl around every 5? No, they're not going to get every 4 to 5 years. That's reserved for the warm weather cities.
I disagree with you.
I don't think that's going to go ahead. Why do you think it would be the case?
I think the NFL is going to get to a point where they want to showcase these premier stadiums. So you're going to have Atlanta, LA, Vegas, Chicago, and whatever the next big one is. Nashville is just it's a growing town, but I don't know if they're going to want to showcase that stadium every 5 to 10 years. They will get one. But no, the major cities, I think they will showcase those stadiums. So I think the Bears, once we get a dome, that's always been what's holding us back. This is one city that can host the Super Bowl, have events, and still be, a cold weather city. New York did it, but that was outdoors. I don't think they'll ever do that again. But as long as we have a covered dome, I think they absolutely will do it.
I mean, for me, y'all already know how I feel about Super Bowls and All-Star games. It should be in warm weather area. In fact, I wouldn't be mad if they host a Super Bowl every year in New Orleans. To me, New Orleans is the perfect Super Bowl city. That's why I'm at with that, man. Last Bears topic, and we're gonna bring Courtney in to talk a little baseball. But Ben Johnson, of course, we all know the opening press conference he had when he was introduced. He took a little shot at Matt LaFleur, saying he enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur in Detroit all those times, and said that he's looking forward to doing it again. They asked Matt LaFleur about the comments. Now, I had the video, but I definitely thought I loaded the video up on here, and turns out I did not. So I don't have the video to play, so I'm just going to describe what he did. Basically, he said that, yeah, I heard it. And they was like, do y'all have a relationship? He's like, no, I ain't got no relationship. He was just playing to the fans, but, we'll see. Feels like it was a little static there. Feels like there's a little static, and it feels like there's a little pre-beef between the two head coaches. I don't think we've had, obviously, we know how the fan bases feel about this rivalry. I think it's only a rivalry to both of these teams, both of these cities. I don't think anybody outside of Chicago and Green Bay gives a fuck about this rivalry because it's been so one-sided over the last 30 years. Outside that little 4 or 5 year period where the Bears dominated during the Lovey era, that's really all it was. So this kind of feels like if both teams can be good. Of course, we all know the Packers are consistent. At the absolute least, they're going to be a playoff team. They ain't going to do shit when they get in the playoffs, but they'll be a playoff team. If the Bears can meet expectations and they make it to the playoffs, now you got an actual rivalry that people outside of both cities care about. And if both coaches hate each other, that just adds to it. So I love what Matt LaFleur said. I didn't want Matt LaFleur to be like, yeah, it was cool. I like Ben, what he's doing. Fuck that. We need warfare. We've had too much cool, talking between the coaches. That's what I like to see. Bang, what did you feel about these comments from Matt LaFleur here?
Well, first of all, y'all already know how I feel about Green Bay. And everything about Green Bay. So this just adds to it. Fuck this nigga. All right. Ben Johnson. Look, shout out to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson got niggas scared. That's all I feel. I think Ben Johnson got niggas scared. Niggas is like, all right, okay. It's about to be real over here. And you know what but you know what the other thing is too I like about this? I'm glad that I'm hearing this and I'm comfortable. Like, it's one thing to hear about all of this and your team is huff and we ain't got no chance. It's another thing in hearing this when you feel like, oh, I got that thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Right.
I feel like dude now. Oh yeah, we got that. I got that thing too. You know what I'm saying? And Matt LaFleur, he can now. I can hear him talk, and now I could be comfortable and be like, yo, we got that thing too. So yeah, go ahead, keep talking, Matt. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Say what you got to say. I don't care if it's a compliment. I don't care if it's some hate. I don't care what it is. Just talk. Because now when you talk, I feel comfortable in the person that's coaching, the person's at quarterback, and the coaching staff in general. I'm comfortable with the GM. I am comfortable with the whole organization of the Bears to where I feel like I can talk all types of shit about Green Bay, no matter if it's good or bad, and feel comfortable in knowing that we're going to back that shit up. So it don't even matter at that point.
Dante, what do you feel about this rivalry? Feels like brewing between the two head coaches.
I love it. I love it. We need it. I mean, and you know me, anybody who's watching the show, I'm the main one who said I'm tired of us focusing on Green Bay. I just want to win. But at the same time, that's the part of being a Chicago Bears head coach. When Lovey was here, you know, another person we tired of mentioning, but when he was here and he was winning, what did he say? We're going to beat Green Bay. And he actually was the last one to actually go out there and do it consistently. So I'm all for it. Again, I think, like Bang said, this is more so another sign that they are truly, truly scared of Ben Johnson. You know, you had some people saying Ben Johnson leaving was like the Rams losing Sean McVay. That's the type of impact that would be. So I'm excited that we got the guy on our side, you know. So that's why I say, you know, if it's Tyler Warren, if it's whoever, no, let's really build this thing up and run it up.
If the St. Brown podcast didn't copyright claim this video and took away my monetization for one of these, I played a video of him saying fucking Ben again over again. But yeah, so I won't be doing that again. But by the way, did you see Caleb Williams has been getting this real LA party and all? I love it, but you got like 4 more weeks, nigga. It's time to lock in. All right, enough.
Oh, hey, I'm with you. Look, now I'm gonna say all of that to say, man, I ain't gonna front. The other day when he was at the Lakers game, I was like, when the wide receivers and Caleb gonna be together?
Hey, Jaquan was at the Lakers game last night.
I know. I still said, when are we gonna get that Aaron Rodgers DK Metcalf video? When we gonna get that slow motion video on somebody's Instagram that showed Caleb throwing the ball and them catching the ball? I'm ready for that. Yeah. I am not gonna sit up here and cap, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like that I ain't said when we gonna get that Instagram video of them practicing together this offseason. That's the only little trepidation I got right now. I need to see that. I need to see that them boys in the lab.
Caleb, you got a couple weeks left of being able to dress like one of the members of Men in Black. Okay, no more. I saw you and Keenan Allen partying with Amon Ra. I think he had like a poker thing. And look, I got my ears to street Los Angeles. You already know. The nigga been outside. No more nights got nights. Okay, no more Delilah nights. That's reserved for Pappy because Pappy doesn't have a 40-year-old gap of winning the Super Bowl to make up for it. So Caleb, you got a couple more weeks. I better see a video of Caleb throwing a Cole Kmet, what's it called, DJ Moore, Rome, one of them niggas before Memorial Day. I know that much. That's all I want to see. I know right now they can't technically talk to the coaches. Still got a couple more weeks, but I need to see it, my boy. But by the way, if you watch on the socials, check out the new video I just uploaded. I'm wearing multiple hats right now. Dante's pregame video before the Braves take on the Marlins tonight. And we also got a BP video up there with Marcel Ozuna and Ozzy Albies. Shout out to our content producer, Mikey, who told me I spelled the name wrong. In fact, autocorrect put Osama on there. So anyway, check all of that out, man. But we are about to bring Courtney in now. We're going to bring Courtney in to talk about one of the Chicago baseball teams. Courtney, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm just happy that it's Friday. I do have a very early wake-up call, so I am looking forward to getting some sleep, being good and washed this weekend. But stay tuned. That could very well change after I get off work tomorrow. That could change.
That could very much change. I have a bottle of wine looking for me after the end of this show that I'm looking forward to as I edit all night, man. But let's get into the Chicago baseball team that actually is winning.
Hold on, shit. Wait a minute. I'll be right back for this shit. I don't know what the fuck going on.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad, man. Go ahead.
I'll be back.
Take your 20-minute break. I forgot to cue you out. My fault. But the Cubs just got done getting their first home victory of the season. They snapped the undefeated streak of the San Diego Padres. Man, I just had the score right here. There we go. 3-1 was the final score today. Good win for the Cubs, but I also feel like the Presley at closing move, I don't think it's going to work out for them in the long run. I think it's going to piss Cub fans off a lot more than is going to make them better, man. But let's talk about some of the bullpen issues we've seen so far in this early season to go for the Cubs. Courtney, what have you seen from the bullpen, from the pitching? Is anything disturb you, or is there any positive trends here if you're a Cub fan?
I mean, it's early, and I guess that depends on what side of the winds that you're on. It's early. Also bear in mind that they have played their first few games, one on the other side of the world and also against a very, very talented Arizona team. So are they right to feel maybe a little panicked? Cubs fans right to feel a little panicked? Absolutely. There's never a good time to lose games. We'll get into the Braves in a little bit, but there's never a good time to drop games, especially when you're up. I think that game that they blew against Arizona was 6-2. That was egregious, right? And listen, you can blame Jed for a lot of things, but he's only working within, the parameters that have been set by ownership. So if fans are looking for someone to blame this early in the season, it's got to be ownership. There's a top, he's older, right? But David Robertson is still out there available right now. Why didn't you go after guys like, and I'm not a fan of his, and I know we've Kenley Jansen, Aroldis Chapman and Kenley Jansen. Why aren't you trying to? Thank you, Orlando. Why aren't we trying to go for more of those dudes? We'll talk about Kyle Tucker in a minite. But yeah, this bullpen, it's not time to panic yet. They still got some nice pieces. I'm still really high on Porter Hodge. Also Craig Counsell. Okay, this is for the table. Okay, Craig Counsell.
I'm glad you said it.
We might need to. Why does Julian Merriweather even exist? Why is he warming up and not pitching? He's arguably one of your better pitchers. Again, it's not saying a lot considering how abysmal that bullpen kind of is right now. Again, I am cutting them a little slack because you had to play the Dodgers and the fucking Diamondbacks to start the season. But yeah. That's some questionable bullpen management by Counsell. And admittedly, we did see that in Milwaukee, and Milwaukee fans did try to warn Cubs fans about Counsell and his tedious bullpen management.
Go ahead, Dante.
I'm glad you said that. Craig Counsell, you're on watch. You're on notice, brother. You get paid way too much money. I understand this is only year 2, but he gets way too much money for some of the mistakes that he makes with that bullpen. And I just think that the Cubs have talent. They spend money. I think Jay Hood hit the nail on the head last year. He said, you spend money, but are you spending money in the right places? I got to tip my cap to Seiya Suzuki. Seiya has been one of the best hitters in the game, the past pretty much 2 years. Kind of underrated, but Seiya's really been doing his thing. He said, we'll get into the whole couch type of thing. So the talent is there to win that very mediocre division, but who's pulling the right string? Because right now it ain't Craig Counsell. So right now they are in first place. They beat the Padres today, but when you look at that team long term, I think the talent is there to do a lot more than what they actually are accomplishing, and that falls on Craig Counsell.
Yeah, if you're gonna pay that much for a manager and say, "Oh, he's the difference," he's got to be doing more than what he's doing. So I think that was something I was already skeptical about to begin with, man. But let's get into some of the topics that's on a new episode of High and Outside, which is the Barber Network's new baseball podcast that is hosted by our one and only Dante, man. Dante, I'm gonna give you the floor, man. What could they look forward to and what we're gonna preview here on the episode?
Oh yeah, like I said, bro. Every week we're gonna be giving y'all the latest and greatest from Major League Baseball. But this week we had a couple of topics that we definitely wanted to hit on. The first one, Tampa Bay and Oakland. We got two Major League Baseball teams that are gonna spend 81 games in a minor league stadium. And, I asked Courtney. We asked the whole round table. We had a really good talk about it. I'll swing it over to Courtney now. But is this good for baseball?
Dante, I know I can speak a little bit more freely than maybe you can at this particular moment. In short, no, this is a joke, and this is bad for baseball. It's bad for fans. Again, I'm giving Tampa Bay all the slack just because they're not playing in their current stadium or their former stadium. I guess it's still their current stadium, but not, they're not playing at Tropicana Field due to a natural disaster, right? Yes, people might say that they should have had their stadium issues sorted out prior to that. People have been clamoring for a new stadium, not in St. Petersburg, because I'm not sure if a lot of people know that, but their stadium is not in Tampa proper. It is in St. Petersburg. And with traffic, apparently, because there's like one way in and one way out, it's abysmal. Going to games, if you do live in Tampa, is really, really difficult. So people have been trying to get a stadium built in Tampa for a while. And we obviously know the drama with John Fisher and the former Oakland Athletics. It's really bad. And Jeff Passan said it best, right? Small and intimate, in the words, because, Rob Manfred said, it's a really cool setting for baseball. It's charming and it's intimate. And Jeff Passan said it best. That small and charming and intimate is exactly what a realtor says to you when they're trying to sell you some bullshit. It's awful.
That field looks like when you making a team on MLB The Show and you making your own little ballpark. Yeah. That's that ballpark looks like. And
the crazy part is, it's a beautiful part of the city. Like, honestly, and I'm telling you because I firmly believe in my heart of hearts, I've been saying it from the beginning, that there is not going to be a stadium. There's not going to be a stadium built in Vegas. It's not happening. There's not going to be a stadium in Vegas. So I think, and you look at all those beautiful drone shots and those high shots that they were taking during that ball game. I'm like, oh, that's a perfect place to build a major league ballpark. It's hot as hell, so you might want to put a roof on it. But it's a beautiful area in part of Sacramento. It's not a bad place to put a ballpark. And at least you're not completely abandoning your fans.
Right. Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like you said, with Tampa, you got to get them the benefit of the doubt simply because it was a natural disaster. They didn't plan on playing in a minor league park. But with Oakland, you had ample time to, prepare for this, and this is what you chose to do. And we've seen the results. You sold out the first night, but they have not sold out a game since. And when you can't sell out a stadium that small, I think that's pretty ridiculous. So that's it's tough. But I think when you Major League Baseball, it's no reason for you to have those teams in this park. Like you said, for 81 games. So it's insanity to me, and it's something that should be fixed. And
Dante, if anything, Dante, I just feel especially bad for the players, right? You spend your whole career playing, once you make it to, the professional leagues, you spend your entire career trying to get out of minor league facilities because, just compared to one another, no matter how many changes you think you can make to that kind of ballpark, it's just not the same. It's just simply not the same experience. Having to watch Seiya Suzuki run across the field so he could go to the clubhouse is absolutely absurd. It's absurd to me. And so, if anything, I don't feel bad for the ownership. I don't feel bad for any of the executives. I feel bad for players.
Let's talk about them Braves, Courtney. I know Dante can only talk about as much of the Braves because we want to keep our credentials. What did you felt about them so far in the season? They're trying to go for their first dub tonight against the Miami Marlins. We know that Jerkson Profar already got suspended. He's going to miss half the season already. What's your take on them? Because a lot of people, even Vegas, had them as one of the top teams to compete for that NL pennant and even have a chance at the World Series. What have you seen so far from them?
They have been really, really bad. I know that sounds really silly and just, they haven't won a game yet. They have just been really bad. I'd say the brightest spot in that lineup is a guy that, in my opinion, shouldn't even be playing Major League Baseball, and that's Marcell Ozuna. He is the probably the one bright spot in that lineup, aside from like Austin Riley. And it's not a team full of scrubs. Top to bottom, the lineup is fantastic. Sometimes you just get into a bad spot. I would say, again, there's no good time of year, like I just said, to lose this many games. But they are fortunate that this is happening to them at the beginning of the year. Once June or July hit, or May or June hits, and they're 20-5, we're not even going to be thinking about this. I read the story about no MLB team has ever started a season 0-7 and went on to the playoffs. I don't care about that. Major League Baseball wacky shit, and it happens all the time. Unheard of shit happens all the time. We've seen it in the past couple of years with Aaron Judge breaking the home run record and Shohei Ohtani going 50-50. It happens all the time. So do I still think that they are a threat? Absolutely. The Braves are incredibly loaded. The problem is the NL East is just an incredibly competitive division. I think if you're the Braves, you got to get a win tonight against a pretty don't get me wrong, the Marlins have been playing okay, but you got to get a win tonight at home if you're Atlanta.
Dante, is there anything you want to say about that you can? If not, we can move on to the next topic. I know we want to.
Oh, no, she's absolutely right. The last thing she said, if there's any time to break your 7-game streak, it's tonight against the Marlins. They play each other tough, but at the same time, this is the team to get the ball rolling.
We know you got to roll in a second, so just quick, man. What you think about TorpedoGate, man? It was a big focus on you guys' first episode today, man. I know Courtney talked about it on the show. I gave my thoughts on it as well. What's your thoughts about TorpedoGate going on with the Yankees?
Bro, at the end of the day, it is difficult to hit a baseball. And so if we really sit here and believe that allowing a certain amount of players to, use bats, or any player really to use a bat that slides the barrel down, is going to just change the game. But suddenly everybody's going to hit 400 and hit 40 bombs. It's not going to happen. Ellie De La Cruz went 4 for 7, and then he went 0 for 8 the next game with the same bat. So, I mean, it's much ado about nothing. I think it's really a lot of it is about the way it was presented to the public. You had a lot of people who thought that these bats were just for the Yankees, but no, anybody can use them. The sales have actually exploded since the start of the season. So, as hard as it is to hit a baseball, bro, I don't have a problem with it. At first, originally, I was going to be the old man, yelling at the clouds, but no, it's not a big deal as people make it seem.
Yeah, man, y'all check out the first episode of High and Outside, which is on the Barber's Chill Network YouTube right now. The audio will be up on the feed starting for episode 2. Working on getting a new logo made and things like that. So check that out. Courtney's on there. The homie Sido's on there. What's your other homie name? Don't want to mess it up.
Right.
Also on there.
He covers the Rangers here.
Okay. Follow him as well. Follow Dante at October's on Tay. He's gonna be covering the Braves Marlins game over there, man. So Dante, we'll holler at you and enjoy the game.
Yes, sir. Y'all be easy.
Yes, sir. We're about to take a quick 1-minute break here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. On the other end, we're gonna get into some football. We're gonna talk about everything going there, some more stuff from the league meetings as well. We already talked about the Bulls stuff, but the Bears aspect of the league meetings. We'll talk about the other stuff going on in the league, and Bang will join us in just a minute. So we will be right back.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
We are back here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. Shout out to Dante, man. Shout out to the Atlanta Braves. Shout out to all the teams who fuck with independent media. We know it's not a lot of y'all. We appreciate y'all. Bears, y'all already know how I feel about y'all. So shout out to the Atlanta Braves for getting us that credential. We're gonna have a lot of good Atlanta Braves coverage this year, man. But we got bang back. Before we get into the NFL, I got a couple non-NFL questions. One, as we've been seeing, I feel like media has been a topic of conversation these last couple weeks, obviously, with the whole LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith altercation. People talking about they want real journalism. How's the NBA being covered compared to how the NFL's been covered? Now we have a story that came out this week about Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee talking about some situation that happened with some sorority girl allegedly sleeping with this one guy's father and things like that, and how it's ruined a boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was. I remember watching it. Then that shit was nasty. And like, I'm not a fan of Pat McAfee, but I had to turn that shit off. It made my stomach turn. I'm like the bar stoolification of ESPN in full effect. It made me sick.
And that leads to my question. Is the worldwide leader beyond saving at this point? Like, because if you look at it, I don't really, outside of the actual live sports on there, I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch First Take. I don't watch any of those other shows on there. Get Up comes on too early in the morning for me. But it kind of feels like, even when you watch, they have Marcus Morris on there this week. And Marcus Morris is up there talking about, I don't think Nikola Jokic is the top 20 player of all time. Like, it just kind of feels like they take all of the hot stuff from Twitter and things like that and debate it. And like I've said, I blame the viewer, because if y'all actually cared about actual journalism, people will actually be talking about that. We wouldn't be seeing people lose their jobs and things like that, if not just sports media in general. We see all the stuff going on in the White House and how some media aren't covering that the way they need to be. That's the bigger problem. It kind of feels like ESPN went from being the number one hub for all things sports and journalism. Now it's just like the National Enquirer for sports at this point. Bang, you deal with this media. We all deal with media all the time. But do you think that this is just what ESPN is right now? There's no saving the worldwide leader at this point.
This ain't got nothing to do with the worldwide leader, fam. This has everything to do with the viewer. You give the people what you want. And that's what the people want. People want that type of stuff. I said this last week, and I'll say it again, and I won't go on a longer rant. I'll keep this short. If you didn't like it, you wouldn't watch it. If you wouldn't watch it, the show wouldn't be on. The show wouldn't be on. Whatever you want to watch would be there. Y'all watch this shit. Even if you watch it on mute, you watch it. So it's going to continue. First Take is a debate show. Debate shows have been around for years. Sportscasters on TV, something that used to come on Sports Channel Plus. All of that shit is really all of this shit that you're seeing is offshoots of that. All First Take is what you see on Meet the Press and what you see on other political shows that just take it to a news show. I'm not a fan of debate shows. I'm a fan of more analytics and stuff like that. But that's what you get when you watch these shows. And actually, I disagree on that. They're not trying to keep up with them. They're not trying to keep up with them because overall, they get more viewers than them. All they're just doing is trying to bring some of their viewers back over there. But they could get any sports player they want. I don't think a lot of people know and understand that a lot of these news organizations, these sports organizations, they recruit sports players and they put them through training before they put them on TV. This is just a cheaper alternative. You don't have to do all of that before you put them on TV. They're doing all of that through podcasting. They're doing all of that through their video shows. So when you look at Gilbert Arenas, don't know if people know and understand. Gilbert Arenas is supposed to be on NBC TV. So all of that is training. So yeah, they are aware of them. Again, they're aware of them. And it's cheaper to grab them now instead of put them through a boot camp in order to get them ready for the TV screen. It's just cheaper. It's just like I saw a tweet that Russ put up. And Russ said that labels don't sign artists no more. They sign fans. That's basically what you're doing here. If I see Gilbert Arenas is doing this, well, Gilbert, why don't you come over here and do it over here and broaden your shit? But again, if y'all don't want it, don't watch it. Watch this shit or watch something else. But ESPN ain't doing nothing. Fox ain't doing nothing different than what ESPN is doing. Y'all ain't watching Fox Sports like that.
No.
So if y'all not watching, if everybody's claimed to not be watching ESPN, what are they watching? Oh, they're watching Gil's Arena. What do they do on Gil's Arena all the time?
Talk
They
shit.
yell, talk shit. All of these, and this is why, like, no disrespect to the comment section, but even y'all full of shit. And here's why y'all full of shit. Because Gil's Arena ain't doing nothing different than what ESPN is doing. They just louder and cussing. Everybody's using the Pat McAfee blueprint. Everybody's using that Barstool blueprint. 18 to 34 white male loves that shit, so that's the reason why they grabbed them. And every other show is doing this shit. These shows, tell me when Gil's Arena talking about analysts and analytics and all of those things. Point me to the episode where they're breaking that down. Actually, low-key, the only show that is legit doing that is LeBron's show. And y'all ain't watching that shit. So let's cut the crap. Let's cut the cap. Let's cut the crap. All y'all niggas is looking at TV that's basically ain't shit right now. And y'all trying to say y'all want the ESPN from yesteryear. It was the same shit, just different versions of it. Man, I'd rather people talk to me and keep it real and just be like, I know this shit's terrible, but I can't stop watching it. And that's why niggas like Wilbon say that ESPN is a bunch of bullshit. I read the article that he did with Outkick, and I love that article. But Michael Wilbon comes from print. He comes from print. Tony Kornheiser comes from print. And Around the Horn is not Around the Horn, excuse me, pardon the interruption, is the one ESPN show that they just argue like old men, but they still give you analysts about what they're talking about, and they do it in a way that you would get when the old dudes from print. Again, sportscasters on TV. So you could call that shit trash all you want to, but you ain't watching FS1. And if you say you getting your shit from Gil's Arena, then you got a whole bunch of old NBA players that's just yelling at each other and cussing. If you say you watching Jeff Teague shit, you really watching Gil. You really watching Jeff Teague for stories with Jeff Teague. That's what it is. All it is yelling and all of that shit. And Stephen A. Smith been yelling since he said Kwame Brown was
Stephen
trash.
A. been doing that, bro. Like, they got that from Stephen A.
Everybody's following the same fucking blueprint. So until all y'all niggas that's complaining about shit, complaining about what's ESPN's doing, stop watching it. Stop watching it. Do like we used to do in the old days. You watch Sports Center, you watch NFL, you watch NBA, their halftime shows and their post-game shows, and you read box scores. Y'all niggas don't even read the newspaper no more.
Yeah.
So stop with that shit. Yeah, they pulling that shit off of Twitter. Why? I said this on the show before we even had this topic. Producers don't be producing no more.
Right.
They just go to Twitter and they find that shit. All of y'all, like, that's what I'm saying. I like this topic because I get to tell the viewer that y'all ain't shit. Y'all bullshitting. Y'all capping right now.
That's why I gave you the floor.
All that shit. All y'all shit doing that shit. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless ain't doing shit, but what Mad Dog and Mike was doing on the radio. This is nothing different. It is nothing different. Go watch sports radio. What do they do on sports radio? They argue and they yell.
I mean,
So
Mad
this
Dog
is what-
one of the originators. Mad Dog,
Yeah.
Mike Francesca.
And that's why it was great for Stephen A. Smith to bring Mad Dog on the show, because he birthed a lot of y'all niggas.
Shout out front of the program, Mad Dog.
I love being able to call listeners out on their shit. You say you don't like this shit, but you're watching. You're watching it.
And you're
watching it. You're looking at the clips and all that shit.
Hey, Bang. Hey,
what up?
That shit got you so straight you had to take an Ollie stress gummy?
Yes, because that shit.
He's like, I know what that is.
Let's cut the crap. Even when they do the analyst show, they take that shit and do it there. They don't even do when you watch a game. The reason why we love the NBA NBC, because when you watch the game, you watched it and got real true analytics and conversation. If you say you watch live sports, they do it there too. So if all of you watches the game, where do you get your other shit from? Y'all niggas don't watch don't read the newspaper. Y'all niggas don't even know what a box score look like. They niggas don't even know what a box score look like no more. You don't even go on ESPN.com and look at the goddamn box score to see what's going on. All y'all niggas do is look at the sports and look at FanDuel and try to look at entertainment, like niggas getting mad at each other. Scott, you just told our best clips is when we yelling at each other.
Prime example. We have great sports talk on this show twice a week, every week. And the clip of us arguing about which NBA players in the NFL and the NBA have hands just did 13,000 on TikTok. So that shows when I'm breaking down the Lakers defense and why they're not going to be able to keep that up come playoff time, 600 views.
Yeah,
if I go up here and I say Jordan Love is Huff, 3,000 views in like out.
Yeah, like I be hating when niggas be talking about some, man, all the shit that be moving is the gossip. All that shit be moving is gossip. Nigga, I work in analytics every day. I can throw out a meaningful story and that motherfucker get 100 clicks. I throw out some gossip, that shit do 10,000 views. I work in analytics every day. I can tell all y'all niggas y'all lying.
Thank you, Bang, for that. 13
yeah, all y'all niggas lying and shit. Stop lying. Just be real. Just be real, nigga. I watch First Take on mute, or just to try to get some shit to see what they're talking about, just in case we talking about it. The one show that I vouch for that I do like, that I hear more analytics than anything, is The Facility. I like that show.
Who's on The Facility?
Chase Daniel, LaShawn McCoy, Acho, and James Jones. I actually like that show because it comes from an athlete's perspective, and they don't really be arguing over each other. They let everybody talk. I love that show actually. Outside of that, and Shade Room was birthed off of the other shit. That the Shade Room birthed the other shit. So no, this ain't, low key, this ain't me airing my grievances. This is just me telling y'all how y'all full of shit.
If Bang was airing his grievances, that wouldn't be on air right now.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be on air if it was airing my grievances. Yeah. No, it wouldn't be there. I'm just telling y'all full of shit. Like y'all full of shit, because we could come on this motherfucker and really start doing some analytic shit. We could start breaking down, have some graphics made, and do this and do that, and y'all motherfuckers are lame out. But when y'all think I'm yelling at Courtney and when I ain't, y'all love that segment. So let's get the fuck up out of here. Let's be real, nigga.
I'm gonna close that segment out with this. A hate watch is indeed still a watch. Y'all need to keep that in mind. It's like, even remember the routine nigga who did cleaning my face at 4 a.m. That's all on social media. Y'all slander that nigga into a check. Y'all do it all the time. Slander me into a check, nigga, please. I beg of you. That's all it is. We see the whole trajectory of people not even trolling women, saying they hate something into something being big, man. But let's talk about actual sports here. The question I got for both of y'all, man, and this is I'm really interested in both of y'all opinion on this because I'm currently watching the World Series documentary that's on Apple TV. That is directed by Ron Howard, executive produced by Derek Jeter, and it's basically on last year's World Series. And I thought, this might just be on each game. No, it's about the whole thing, going whole story. And I have a question. Looking at everything going on in sports right now, all the biggest stars, and the way the Dodgers have started, Shohei Ohtani had a walk-off this week. Is Shohei Ohtani the biggest player? I said, well, not the biggest and the best. Is he the best player in sports right now? Like when it comes to marketability, we always talk about baseball players don't really reach up with the NBA players. But I kind of feel like Shohei is the rare combo of a baseball player who may be the best in professional sports in America, at least, and also one of the biggest. Courtney, what's your take on that?
I mean, yeah, if that's like the only parameters in terms of what, just like marketability, is that
marketability? And just as a player, is he the best player in sports right now? Like, is he the most must watch right now in sports?
Okay, so for me, there's a difference between the best athlete and a must-watch athlete. I absolutely think Shohei Ohtani is must-watch television. I am not, and I'm a big fan. I don't know if I'm there yet to say I think he's the best athlete in sports yet. Just because I personally would want to see, I mean, if we're going to like crown this one particular baseball player, I need to see him on the mound more often in rarefied form, you know, like for me, and we just saw the story in the media, right, about Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, you know, when they were talking about on the team, oh, who do you think is the best? Mookie said, me, I'm the best athlete on this team. And I think he's absolutely right. We saw Mookie transition from right field into shortstop without skipping a fucking beat.
Yeah, well, he skipped the beat a couple days ago.
And then he made up for it. So, you know, but I'm just saying, we watched him transition from playing, you know, two incredibly difficult positions, right field and then shortstop. He slotted in there seamlessly for the most part. So, like, for me, that's an elite athlete when you can play two roles in a high-level organization at the top. Like, it doesn't get better than that for me. Now, if Ohtani gets back on the mound and he's fucking shoving sub-3 ERA, then I will revisit this conversation. Pardon me. But until then, I think Mookie Betts still edges it out for me.
I agree from that point that he does need to get on the field more. I think that player to player, yes, I'm taking Mookie every day of the week. But for the average fan, if we look at the casuals, right? The casual's going to say, I want to see Shohei Ohtani.
Oh,
what's
for sure.
about this person? Like, the best player thing, I don't think he's the best player in sports, but I do think as far as the biggest draws, he's up there. I still don't think there's anything more fun than watching a Steph Curry hot streak. Like, that to me is the most exciting thing in sports. Go ahead,
and for me, like, again, watching Travis Hunter play football on both, that was incredible. If we're talking about best overall athletes period right now, I've got to put Travis Hunter in my top 5 at least, because being able to play at that incredibly high level, and doing what he was doing, that was insane. And again, I don't know if we'll see that again anytime soon. So if we're talking just best athletes, he's up there. Shohei Ohtani, absolutely top 5 as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, LeBron is still in there. But we even saw last night the way Steph Curry took over at the end of the game at 37 years old. I've seen it personally. In person, I've been in person seeing him drop 50 points on the Clippers, and I've been on a ton of NBA games. That was something to see. Ben, what's your opinion on Shohei Ohtani as, you know, a must-see player, and where you're ranking just not all time, but current athletes right now? You on mute, brother.
Oh shit, the other joint hit the mute button. My bad.
Play the sound.
No, yeah, you gotta play the sound. Play the sound.
Play the sound.
Keep talking while I play. I'm the only nigga here today. Go ahead.
Oh no, man.
Whoa, that's fun.
But nah, man. I think he's definitely top 5. I think that after watching a little bit of that documentary, that World Series documentary, like I'm not a baseball watcher like I used to. So, I know when y'all talk about dude, like how good he is. I see the highlights and everything, but I didn't really feel it until I watched that doc. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, imagine if I know he could speak English, but imagine if he like really was like speaking like fluent English and all that stuff. He'd be the biggest person in sports right now, and it wouldn't even be a conversation. But right now, like he's definitely top 5 in that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really interested in your opinion because you don't watch baseball like that, and you know who the guy is. And Courtney, I think you hit the nail on the head. When he gets back on the mound, and maybe hopefully that'll be sometime this year, and he's actually dominating like he was prior to the injury, that to me takes it to another stratosphere. If he's dominating on the mound and giving you 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, that takes it to another level. But he's definitely in the top 5 of professional sports must watch. I don't know who would be number 1. I think Travis Hunter, like you said, is very high on that list. And I hope everybody enjoyed it because I don't think he's going to play 2 positions in the pros. But what he was doing at Colorado was amazing, and I'm glad he won the Heisman for LeBron. Still being dominant at his age is still a watch. But Steph Curry, obviously I'm biased. That's my favorite player. But I think a Steph Curry burner is just miraculous to watch right now. Really his whole career, but especially right now, him being that age, man. But let's get into some NFL talk. Let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk about one of the best players in the NFL. That is Mr. Micah Parsons. Everybody's still trying to figure out what's going on with his contract situation. Now, we got a tweet earlier this week that says that they were offering him a historical contract, but it had nothing to do with talking to Micah Parsons' agent, who happens to be the one and only David Mulligetta, who is notorious for getting his players the bag. Now, Clarence Hill Jr., he covers the Dallas Cowboys. He said Jerry Jones had blatant disrespect to Micah Parsons' agent, David Mulligetta, by saying the agent is not concerned here. I don't know his name. Mulligetta is one of the best and most respected agents in the NFL. Micah Parsons retweeted that tweet and said, facts. David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without him involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There's no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There'll be no back doors in this contract negotiation. Now, I feel like everybody's been trying to figure out what's going on. This has really kind of been like a theme right now when it comes to negotiations with Cowboys players and Jerry Jones. We seen it 30 years ago with Emmitt Smith. We seen it with Tony Romo. We saw it with Dak Prescott. We saw it with CeeDee Lamb, and now we're seeing it again. To me, I usually say, oh, this is just Jerry doing the theatrics, and eventually they're going to sign him. And I felt that way into this particular situation. Disrespecting David Mulligetta was something I didn't expect, because even when Jerry goes on his little, I'm Jerry Jones, y'all can go to hell, I'm a billionaire, I'm basically the second commissioner of this league, y'all can't tell me anything. I don't pay much attention to it because he still pays his players. What you got an agent like this, a well-respected agent like David Mulligetta, an agent who's known for getting his players the bag. I mean, I love Justin Fields. That nigga just got a lot of money. I don't know if I pay him that at this particular time, but that just shows you how great of an agent that David Mulligetta is. He is the architect of obviously the worst contract a team has ever given to a player ever with Freaky Sean. He knows how to put together a deal. So when you go out there and you hit him with the disrespect, to me, that really makes things to a point where maybe no matter the number, Micah's might not want to take up the negotiations anyway. It might be like, trade me. I think this is just the beginning of a long situation that we're going to be talking about probably during the summer once the NFL draft is over and we don't really have nothing to talk about before training camp starts. This, to me, was a massive mistake by Jerry Jones, and I'm really interested to see what's going to be the next stop here? Is Micah Parsons gonna be like, to the hell with the Cowboys, I want to trade, get me out of here, or this is just the usual Jerry Jones, I'm acting like I don't need anybody just to pay them what they're owed when it's all said and done. Courtney, you're out there in Dallas. What's your opinion on it? What's like the feeling, if you know, about Cowboys fans when it comes to this? Because it's been a rough year for Dallas sports fans when it comes to superstars and front offices.
Yeah, the general consensus is that Jerry Jones is just being Jerry Jones. This is kind of his MO, right? He drags his feet on these deals and drags it out for theatrics' sake. But this one kind of feels different. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. But to me, this one feels a little different. First off, I stand firmly in saying that Dallas paid the wrong person first. I really don't think Dak needed to get paid all that money. And I'll stand 10 toes down on that forever, because I just don't think Dak Prescott was worth that much money. Even with the current state of the quarterback market that we're in now, Dak Prescott's not worth that money. That being said, why would you ever disrespect that man's agent like that? Like, I know you don't, apparently they don't have a good relationship. I just don't see how that helps you get closer to getting the deal done. Also, there's going to come to a point where a player, obviously it wasn't CD or, Dak, but there's going to come to a point where these dudes just get tired of Jerry's theatrics and just say, fuck it, and walk, because they can get paid. Yeah, Jerry does pay up. I will say that. He does pay up, but not before he makes a fucking show out of everything. And honestly, who wants to deal with that, especially with the Cowboys? Respectfully, how much closer does re-signing Micah Parsons right now at this particular moment where the Cowboys are, does that really get them closer to winning a Super Bowl right now?
No.
The Cowboys aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. They're not winning the Super Bowl next year.
They might not make the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah, and that to me at that point. Go ahead.
So if I'm all that to say, if I'm Micah Parsons, I don't know, maybe explore your options, King.
If I'm Micah Parsons, get me the hell up out of there. Like, to me waiting for a contract to begin with is disrespectful. You disrespecting my agent, a black agent at that. Let's be very clear about that. I ain't got nothing to talk to y'all about. Get me up out of here, or I'm gonna wait till my contract is over and I'm gonna leave, and I'll be the biggest thing on the market, and basically dare you not to franchise tag me. Bane, what's your thoughts on the Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones thing? Is this typical Jerry, or does this feel a little different to you?
It's typical Jerry, but I still feel different because the day and the age we in. It's a different day. It's a different time, and you can't do this shit. In a world where player empowerment is all one major thing, you really think that these players want to deal with somebody like Jerry Jones acting old and senile and shit? Because that's basically what's going on right now. This is basically Jerry Jones being an old fart and thinking that the old way of doing things, I just talk to the player and get this out the way, and all of that shit is the way of going. No, this is not the way to go. And they are quickly telling his ass that, nah, fam, you fucking up right now. And that's what's going to be the downflight. I think more than anything, the downfall of certain certain entities is going to be because people can't grow within the times. And that's really what the Cowboys are right now. I think Courtney just said it best. Hey, I'll sit there and wait, and I'll get all the money I can from your ass, or I'll go get it somewhere else. Either way it go, you either going to get fleeced or you going to fuck around and lose your cash cow. And, yeah, you're going to see it's in the next couple of years, barring other shit, I think we're looking at the final stage of Jerry Jones being the general manager, de facto general manager of that team. Because his son gonna tell him, Pops, you fucking up.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that one, man. We gonna spend the last 20 minutes of the show talking about what went on at the league meetings for the rest of the NFL. We already talked about what happened with the Bears and everything at these meetings in the local hour. So want to talk about a couple rule changes got approved this week. Of course, one of them being the most obvious one that we knew was all going to get changed, and that is the overtime rule for the regular season. So basically, same rules that you got in the playoffs are now the overtime rules in the regular season. 10-minute quarters. Both teams will get the football. They're also expanding league replay assist program. And the touchback will now not be at the 30-yard line. It'll be at the 35-yard line. Of course, the digital first down, and we've all been asking for, will finally be the main thing that will judge whether something is a first down or not. And the referees with the measurement joints, that's going to be the backup now, just in case maybe there's a malfunction on either second nine, things like that. Me personally, also the tush push vote got pushed to May, but there is momentum about this being up out of here. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Albert Brill, Tom Pelissero, friend of the program, Tom Pelissero, have all said that they expect the tush push to be banned. They just want a little more time to think on it and look about all the pros and cons. Out of all these right here that have been approved or going to be pushed back, only one I really got a problem with is the touchback at the 35. That's a wild spot for a touchback to me. I understand they're trying to make it be more kick returns with a dynamic kick return that everybody's got now. I thought the first year that was kind of hit or miss. I don't think it was something that stood out to the point where it was really bad or something that was really good either. It was just kind of there. So I get it from that aspect, but you're basically damn near giving them the ball at the 40-yard line, which is kind of crazy to me. Digital first down, glad we got that. 2025, we should have been digitally finding out what first downs are years ago. Same thing with all the replays. I'm cool with that. Overtime, I didn't like the original overtime change. I'm old school. I'm firmly believe in play defense, nigga, and you get the football back. I've always been on that hill. I understand I'm alone in that, but I also find it funny that every time the Bills lose in the playoffs, they complain about something and they end up changing the rules. So that's just my take on that. Courtney, anything from these rules that did get approved and the tush push vote being pushed till May, what's your thoughts on these?
The touchback at the 35 thing is interesting. I have a question, and I'm asking because I don't know. Have they ever considered just like running the ball out of the end zone?
Right. Right.
Is that stupid? I'm genuinely
no,
asking.
It's not. I do that on Madden all the time.
Just run the ball out. Just eliminate the fucking kicker altogether and just run the ball out the end zone.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Also, related note, just kind of like, I don't want to hear another fucking team talk about how they care about the health and safety of the players when in regards to some of these rule changes. Oh, the tush push, it's for the health and safety of the players, while they are actively working to extend the length of the NFL season.
Right. 18 games.
We don't care about
health over here.
While we're actively suppressing information about CTE and the effects that this violent game has on the brains and the bodies of the fucking people that are playing it, but you care about health and safety. Be for real. And all of this gets into gambling interests, and all these rule changes really are so deeply intertwined with the sports betting industry now that it's hard for me to even get excited or intrigued at any of them, because I feel like all of it is, again, they're like this in bed with each other. So I'm still gonna watch because I'm a degenerate and I love it, but like, it's whatever. I'll still watch. Whatever. It is what it is. I do like the overtime rules. I do like the overtime rules. I do like that.
I personally hate it, but of course I'll be watching. They
don't
don't do anything.
Roll in overtime? That's fair.
I want niggas to play defense. That's what I want. I want niggas to play defense. If you want the football back with your season on the line, play defense, nigga.
Why can't both teams play defense though? You know what I mean? But I think it's unfair to your fates are decided by a fucking coin. That's crazy.
Life is unfair. There's a lot of things we deal with every day that ain't fair. Yeah, some things happen to people, some things don't happen to people. I mean, also I'm old school. I'm stuck in my ways when it comes to the NFL. So I just like it that way. It's not a major thing to me where it's like, oh, this is terrible. The next thing we're about to talk about is a major thing for me. But this particular one, if I had a vote, I wouldn't have changed it. But I understand the argument for it. And for fans, especially casual fans, you want to see as much football as possible. So I get that. Bang, what's your thoughts on some of these rule changes and the tush push getting pushed? No pun intended, but still having momentum.
Well, the tush push getting pushed so they could get more time to go ahead and tell people, hey, go ahead and vote this shit out. That everything that I see with the tush push is everything that I saw when the loss St. Louis Rams lost. Well, St. Louis lost the team. It's the same shit. Yeah, this is being postponed so they can have conversations with the teams and the teams that's affected and be like, yo, this is the way this has got to go. The touchback rule is kind of wild to me. All the way to the 35. Like, damn.
Crazy.
Should just send the ass to the 50.
Right. At that point, yeah. It's your XFL on.
At that point, yeah. The overtime rules I ain't mad at. I do want people to play defense. Don't get me wrong. I do want people to play defense. I am with you on that. But that's the only rule that the rule change where I'm like, I ain't too mad at it. Whatever. But other than that, yeah, here's what I think, Scott, this is when I agree with you, and I'll just put a cherry on top of it. It just feels like every time they make these decisions, they say fuck defense, and we want more people to score points. That's it. There's nothing that shows me that you want really fair competition, and even with the tush push, because the defense can do that, but they can't do it like the offensive side of the ball. So it's like, all right, even when it's like folks at the 50 and you see the running back running and you get the offensive line, like I hate that play more than I hate the tush push because the play is basically over. You just didn't blow the whistle. Now you got 3 offensive linemen that in damn near picked up the running back and moved them about 15 yards, and then the crowd is going like, this is great. That's the play. Like the tush push I'm cool with. That's the play that I think is more egregious. But outside of that, they'll touch back at the 35. Like shit, imagine playing Madden. And you like, fuck it. I'm gonna just go ahead and kneel down and then.
But it's kind of like what Courtney said on Madden. I would have ran the kickback. I was the first nigga to not care about 4th downs. I was the first Dan Campbell nigga when I was playing Madden. You think I care about? Unless it's like 4th and 30, I'm going for it, bro. Like every time. This next thing that might potentially get changed.
Real quick, I've been Dan Campbell since Tecmo Bowl. Nigga,
been Dan Campbell for a long time.
And fuck punting. We throwing bombs around here, Jack. Catch it,
Ask about me on Madden 2002, nigga, where I was going for it in 8th grade. I did not care. This next potential rule change will potentially have me pissed off. That is the rule change proposed by the Detroit Lions, and that is the potential changing of how playoff seedings are with division winners and wildcard teams. Now, the Lions proposing that if you win your division, yes, you're still guaranteed a playoff spot. But if there's a wildcard team who didn't win that division and they have a better record than this division winner, then they should get home field. I'm guessing obviously this became, a lot of the years you got the NFC South team that goes 8-9 or 9-8 or 8-8 back in the day, and they still made the playoffs and had a home game. Last year, the Rams had the home field over the Vikings, even though the Vikings had a better record by 2 games. Now, the Lions had the number 1 seed last year, so this wasn't a problem for them. Me, I personally hate this. And the reason I hate it is because very rarely does this happen. This is not a yearly occurrence thing. Very rarely does it happen. If you're in a division that just happens to be a slobber knocker, like JR used to say, and you didn't win a division, you just asked out, my boy. You just had a rougher division, and it is what it is. If you're as good as your record says, you should be able to win a road game. Don't NBA-ify the NFL. We do not care about divisions in the NBA at all. It's all about seeding and things like that. But I don't care if the Knicks won the Central Division. It means nothing that they're still the third seed in the Eastern Conference. What makes the NFL great, what makes Major League Baseball great is divisions. That's why you still have rivalries. There's no rivalries in the NBA because nobody cares about them. With the players, with the leagues, with the NFL, and with Major League Baseball, it's not even about the players. It's about the teams and the rivalries there, and that's what makes it such a great sport. We talk about, oh man, I'm looking forward to Bears playing the Vikings week 8, or oh man, it's gonna be Eagles and Commanders again, because we know the importance of the division. Taking this away would dramatically change how not just but how a lot of people look at the NFL, and I don't think that's a good thing. Now, having said all of that, I think this is something that will not get approved. Now, there is more momentum, is what's been the word come out of the league meetings. That there's a lot of people who at least see the potential of that, but to me, it's going to come down to money. It's going to come down to owners not want to give up an extra home game, especially when they earned a home game. And I ultimately do not think this is going to get approved, but I hate the fact that we've been talking about this. Courtney, what do you think about this potential changing with division seedings?
I echo your sentiments completely, and especially as a New Orleans Saints fan at heart, right? That would, I mean, we ain't making the playoffs no time soon, but you know what I mean? It does impact my division because that's unfair. Oh, well, we're in a tougher division. Oh, it should be that ain't my fucking problem. That's not my problem. I don't care. Cry about it. I don't know what to tell you. Cry about it.
Yeah.
That's all I can. Cry about it.
Bang, what's your take on this?
I think Bang's being a dad right now.
Yes, I was being the dad. If this kid take this goddamn this plug out of this damn pad one more time, it's just gonna be dead and send his ass upstairs. This further exploits or not exploits, but explains the pussification in the NFL. Putting it on the 35-yard, the ball on the touchback, 35 yards, and it's the tush push. And my record was better than this team, but we won the division. I want to get home field. Win your division, Jack. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with this. You worried about other people. You ain't worried about your goddamn self. Win the games you supposed to win. Win your goddamn division. You ain't got to worry about that shit.
Preach.
All right. No word. Oh, you gonna be on the road? All right, we're gonna go ahead and make sure we scout better. We do this, we're gonna make the decisions. It's weird to me that the Detroit Lions is the one who's pushing this move. But if they coach actually made smarter decisions and stopped trying to go for it on 4th down every goddamn time, maybe they ass would have been in the goddamn maybe they ass would have been in the damn Super Bowl all the time. Why don't we ban niggas going for it on 4th down unless it's 4th and 1? How about we do that?
We should treat 4th downs like challenges. You only get 2.
Yeah.
Per game.
Yeah, they use their last 4th down privilege. You gotta pick and choose where you want to go to 4th down.
Yeah. Do that shit like that. You gotta pick privilege for that
why
shit.
They want to get rid of the tush push, apparently. Besides, player health and safety, isn't it also that they say that it basically eliminates the 4th down goal line scenario?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Again, what did I just say? All of this is so deeply intertwined with the interests of sports betting companies. That's why I'm like, man,
100%. 100%. Yeah, go ahead. Was that all you had, Bang?
Yeah, that was it. This is whole shit.
Yeah.
Like every time something don't go your way, you want to change a rule and shit, man. Fuck out of here.
I got a hot take about this. I want to know y'all opinion on this on why I think the Detroit Lions of all teams did this. Now, this is my meathead take, by the way. They know how tough this division is. They know the next year they might not win that motherfucker.
Thank you.
If the Bears or maybe the Packers or maybe the Vikings win a division next year, let's just say the Lions have a great record too, but let's just say maybe the Commanders are 2 games less than them and they got to go to Washington, they're trying to get it ahead of the curve. In the words of Joe Budden, you can't fool a real nigga. You can fool them. You can fool the ones who are not paying attention. You're not low, Detroit. I see what you're doing. Yeah, and you're trying to do under the guise of, oh, we're looking now for the importance of the league. We had the number 1 seed last year. If you was in the NFC South, you would not care about this. So that's my take on what I feel about this. Am I just being a meathead, or is there some points to this?
I echo your sentiment. I echo your sentiment.
Ain't shit else to say. You 100% right. You know how tough it's gonna be. You ain't looking out for the other people, because motherfuckers been doing this shit since, look, Tom Brady tore his goddamn ACL. Matt Castle led the damn New England Patriots to a 11-5 record.
Yeah,
and they ain't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they barely missed it. And the New England Patriots, I don't remember them saying, hey, well, let's go ahead and institute the rule where it's 7 teams this time. They just got 7 things.
Should the 2006 Chicago White Sox, who won 95 games and missed the playoffs, should they boycott? You know what? We should have had a chance to defend our title. We should change the wild card rule. No, it's ridiculous, man. And you know what? The Detroit Lions are Drake right now. That's like when Drake said, "Oh, I'm suing Universal for the artist." No, nigga, you suing Universal because you got smacked for 12 months straight, and now you want to leave it with something. That's who the Detroit Lions are, man. Last thing that came out of the league meetings, and then we're gonna wrap this episode up. Roger Goodell, aka Marlo Stanfield, is doubling down on taking Christmas from the NBA. Last year there was a doubleheader. They had Lamar Jackson heading to Houston to play CJ Stroud and the Texans, Beyonce at halftime, and then you also had the Steelers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Both games were terrible. Beyonce's performance was the best part of that week or that night, even though I don't really know them songs, but that's beside the point. It was a great performance, but the ratings were ridiculous. Now the NFL is doubling down. It's going to be a triple header on Christmas now on Netflix, and Netflix continues, well, not specifically on Netflix, 2 on Netflix and 1 on Amazon Prime is what we're hearing right now. And I'm also hearing from a very, very reliable source that this Amazon Prime thing is 100% going to happen. Me personally, I love it. More football, the better. Like I've always said, this sounds crazy. I don't really care about how many times these niggas play games. I'm not the nigga getting paid millions of dollars to be out there on the field. You knew what you signed up for when you was a Pop Warner. As a fan, I want more football. I love this. I do think the NBA had a better a better Christmas than the NFL did, but feed me more. I personally love it, and I also feel like this is going to be something they're going to keep building on. The NFL also didn't have this on the notes, but there will be 10 international games coming up, and that to me, I feel like we're very, very close to having a full international division in the NFL. Courtney, take us home on this. What's your opinion on the triple header and more international games?
Again, I'm here for more football, but again, I'm reiterating what I said earlier. The NFL does not care about player health and safety. That being said, I will be watching. I will be tuned in completely. Also, I don't care about the NBA, so I'm totally fine with the NFL hijacking Christmas because I'd rather watch that anyway.
You don't start your day with nice New York Knicks basketball in the morning?
No, I watch A Christmas Story. Okay, it's Christmas. Okay, I watch A Christmas Story. Maybe I'll have a little eggnog. Okay, or maybe like a little Crown Apple and apple juice. Okay, start the morning off right. I ain't got kids. I know bang. I'm sure there's a lot of yelling. I'm sure you probably understand. I know you're a tequila guy. I don't know what you mix the tequila with on Christmas morning. I would do it though. I'm just saying.
Bang, go ahead. You're on mute again, brother.
Hit the button. Hit the button.
I'm going to.
Button. It's the button on your mic, though. See, you don't.
See, I got the same microphone now, and I just use the mute. I use. Whoa, that's a fine. StreamYard, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I when you got kids, sometimes you got to hit that motherfucker real quick.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Only person I got to worry about here is my dog. But
Yeah, all you got to worry about is a dog. You hear this motherfucker in the background. You hear him in the background. All right, Landon, hold on. Let me tell Scott this. Look, I told the NBA, start the NBA season on Christmas. Been saying that shit for about 10 years.
Yeah.
No. Now look at the NBA. Mad as hell because the NFL about to take their shit and be all on Netflix and Amazon. All taking all the ratings and all that shit. Now the NBA gonna have to be like, y'all, we just gonna have to start this shit January if we want this to work. Look, the NFL is slowly just taking the NBA lunch money. That's it. That's all. Especially, look, the one thing that they ain't gonna be able to top, the one thing the NFL ain't gonna be able to top is Beyonce halftime show.
You mean
That's
NBA
it.
ain't gonna be able to top?
No, the NFL.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Oh,
no, that's the one thing that the NFL ain't gonna be able to top.
Unless.
Go ahead. Say the hot take.
No,
I know where you finna go. Nope. This is a black television show.
Okay.
We are not. I know exactly what name you finna say. We will not do that on Beyonce's internet. I will not allow it. Not today. The Hive is not coming for me. I will say this one thing.
I love Beyonce.
Yeah. That's exactly somebody said.
Always putting
before they say something wild about Beyonce. Mrs. Hove will not be slandered on this program.
It wasn't slander. I was merely acknowledging the reality that if, say, a certain pop star were to do Christmas Day,
a certain pop star who is with a certain tight end in the NFL,
tell me it wouldn't do stupid numbers.
It would do stupid numbers.
Similar to Beyonce's, if not better, and it's no fault of Beyonce. I love Beyonce, but let's.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna block this out. Not to what Ayana say? Not on my watch. Not. We're not.
Hey, Scott, go clip this and just be like, Beep.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, do not clip this. Not clip this.
No, I'm not gonna throw Courtney to the wolves. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna throw it to the wolves, man.
They'll literally find out where I live in my socials, and like, I can't live like that.
I've got the perfect plan to save the NBA. You start the NBA on Christmas, then you do now actually it's a bet. Not even start on Christmas. They got start on New Year's, nigga. New Year's Day. New Year's Day. Start on New Year's Day. After push All-Star break to around March, then you come back from All-Star break. You do the in-season tournament, which I finally understand why they have. Now that I understand and been watching soccer, I get the in-season tournament. I didn't understand the NBA Cup at all. I get it now. And then you have the NBA playoffs and NBA finals go through the summer. You have it by yourself. Yeah, Major League Baseball is doing that, but Major League Baseball ain't bigger than the NBA. That's what you should do. That's my gift to Adam Silver, man. But that's all we got for y'all today on this edition. He said the black Escalators are waiting for Courtney. Yeah, I'm not gonna throw Courtney to the wolves. I will not be clipping this up. But that is all we've got for y'all on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Tune in to Dante's tweets, man. He's gonna be live tweeting and giving updates from the Braves game. He'll be doing Braves coverage all year in the new episode of his new podcast, High and Outside. Episode 1 is out right now. Courtney is on there. A lot of good baseball conversation on there, man. So Bang, Courtney, anything y'all want to say before we wrap up?
Absolutely not. Lots of good baseball happening this weekend. Dodgers, Phillies, O's, Royals. Make sure y'all tap into that. Lots of good hockey being played as well. There's a particular team here in Dallas that's playing some exceptional hockey through the last 10 games, 8-0 and 2. They are looking fantastic. Listen, this is going to be a great Stanley Cup playoffs, and that will be starting in less than 2 weeks. So I will be busy, but I will still be around to give you guys the insight on everything that's going on in the hockey playoff world, so you guys can pretend to be hockey fans again for the next 2 months.
Oh, we're 100% doing Stanley Cup playoffs for idiots for the second year in a row. We will be 100% doing that. This is a great sports weekend. Final Four is this weekend. A lot of good, NBA, a lot of good Western Conference NBA ball. As seeds 3 through 10 are all separated by one game. Like she said, Stanley Cup playoffs in almost 2 weeks. Next week is the last full week of the NBA regular season. So a lot of good matchups. Denver and Golden State playing tonight. And I've been locked in on soccer, bro. I'm waking up 6:30 in the morning tomorrow to watch Arsenal play Premier League. I've been locked in, my nigga. In about a year, I'm finna be as good as Tosin when it comes to my team. There might be 30 minutes on this show of me just talking soccer. So be very, very tuned in for that. But Bang, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
can.
Some dude episode out right now. Mike B has not seen Big Trouble in Little China. Very
He
disappointed.
hasn't?
Never
Wow.
seen it. Yeah. And a couple of other movies he's never seen, so I'll talk shit about him. But nah, new episode of Some Dude. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Yeah, there will be an episode of Summer Sessions next week. Like Bang had internet problems, so he's leaving. We didn't have Summer Sessions this week because I did the Wednesday episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, and editing took a lot longer than I expected. By the way, check that out. It's on the Patreon right now. I had a great interview with Russell Dorsey, man. Talked some good baseball on, man. So check that out as well, man. So per usual, you know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. Follow our partners, H&B Media, and at H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram. Also follow Courtney on all social media platforms at 1-800 Callabro. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com / Barber's Chat Network, man. This is what happened when I'm playing producer too. I'm looking for the damn picture. Here we go. All right. Patreon.com / Barber's Chat Network. There's 4 different tiers, but you can subscribe to the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, where you can get the exclusive middle of the week Wednesday edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Each and every Wednesday, I'm gonna try to get it up by at least 5 p.m. Central Time. That one will not be live. That will be pre-recorded, unlike the Monday and Friday shows. And if you subscribe, you get 25% off on the Barber's Chair Network store. Not only for that, but also if you're a $10 subscriber for the Barber's Chair Access store, that is bcnet.com, bcnetshop.com. We've got a great Bear shirt dropping very, very soon. So we making sure. I got yours. I'm taking care of yours already. Man, we thought you lost you for a minute, but
you decided to join us again.
You did. My shit just went full pinwheel.
Yeah, that's why I moved. I zoomed out because I could hear you, but it looked like you was frozen. So I was like,
my shit went full pinwheel. I was like, what the hell going on?
Definitely, man. So also I know you saw movies. Yo, Bang, you said, if you love documentaries, number 1 on the call sheet on Apple TV is a must watch, bro. It's about black actors, black actresses in Hollywood. It's one of the best documentaries I ever seen. Yep. Check that out. They're not paying me, obviously. I wish they were. Apple, holla at your boy. Y'all, we could be the first sports show on Apple, holla at your boy. But yeah, check that out. That's a good one, man. So that is all we got for y'all. Enjoy the big sports weekend on deck. And we gonna holla at y'all. We about it.